So what's next on the agenda? What else are we working on today?
Caught me slipping. Update my socials. You're on Instagram or Facebook and some of them scammers start trying to get you. Remember, only the authentic Ian Roussel account has the blue check mark. Jamie's as well. So there's Ian Roussel, Land Roussel. Only Ian Roussel or Jamie with the blue check. So watch out. I don't know what they're up to. Trying to sell gift cards or scam gift cards. I don't know.
I actually got an email from someone that said they won a Ford F-150, brand new, for a gift, and all they had to do was send them a FedEx gift card or something like this of like $350.
I'm driving a 14-year-old Chevy truck with 175,000 miles. Do you think I'm giving away a new Ford F-150?
Yeah. So watch out for the scammers.
Before you have one of the largest pieces of sheet in the shop.
Is this new or did you go to the metal store?
I stocked up last time. I'm going to have to go back. We are burning through the project. We have this one, which is 18 gauge. It's a little thicker than we usually use because we're working on the floor.
There is a lot of questions about the different gauges of metal.
There is. Typically on the bodywork, it's 20 gauge. So the numbers go up as the sheet gets thinner. 22, 24 gauge, no real use for that in auto body. 18 and 20 for me is where it's at, sheet metal wise.
That's so funny because when I worked as an ER nurse, it was always 18 and 20 gauges that I used. Interesting. Parallel.
Typically I'll use a 12 gauge, but in this case, it's 18.
There is a 16 gauge though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure there's a... Anyway.
Currently measuring. Coming in, the specs on this piece of sheet are 4 feet by 8 feet by 18 gauge. Let's go to the car. We're going to be working on this too also, so stay tuned on the Zephyr project. I got the exhaust parts, manifolds. They don't fit. Today, we're working on the floors.
Wow. There's no
What you got here is a whole lot of nothing. So Dave and Red took out all of that messy business that was going on here.
Nice.
It was all those weird, massive seat mounts, etc. Well, so these are the old seat mounts. They were under the floor. We still got to take a lot of this rusty metal off, but you know me, I like the fun stuff first. So they got the heavy business out of the way. I'm gonna have to get in here and clean all this out because that's only gonna get worse if we leave it alone. The cool thing about this is they got the limo style door. People were asking us about this. This was done by someone back in the day. Easy access, curbside, right? You got a, I don't know. What large thing would you put in here? Pet hippo?
Well, back in the day,
Sousaphone?
women wore big hats and big petticoats and big coats and things like that.
I was thinking
I don't think bustle.
Big bass drum.
I think bustle's more the 1800s, but anyway.
What would you do if there was a bustle in your hedgerow?
What? I know there's a reference there, but I don't know.
You wouldn't be alarmed. That would be the first step. Showing your age, kid.
I know.
Child.
I'm only 6 years younger. Relax.
See how it locks? That's cool. It's a Led Zeppelin reference.
That's so cool.
It's about 4 feet across on the interior, and that's good because that's how big our sheet metal is. Actually, no, it's much larger. But what the good thing is, we're only going halfway. From the apex of these two sides, the peak, we got 56, and it looks like it bows out towards the center. Yeah, only an inch, 56 to 57. So we're gonna split that sheet. We're gonna split that sheet into 2 feet by, I'm gonna get rid of all this junk. I'm gonna come up to this ridge. It looks good on both sides. That's about where Dave and Red found some wherever it was torched out for that other seat mount. Gonna go 62 by 2 feet. We're gonna leave the center open because the drive shaft is gonna come in. We might have to modify that and this for the drive shaft, but that will be easy enough with some hoops just like this. So let's just concentrate on the floor. I still don't have a bead roller, nor do I think I will ever get one. So we're gonna work with the sheet metal brake similar to what we did in the trunk. Now it's gonna be a lot of noise. And we'll see you on the flip side. That was exciting.
Riveting.
Necessary part of every fabrication is the rough cuts. Let's lay this in there and take a look. Looks great. Throw in the carpet, we're set. Definitely not going to be that easy. Let's do this. Let's find out. You'll see so many times I'll make a full-size paper template, but not in this case because I don't have a paper that big. And I really don't have the patience for that. So let's start by doing this. I like this, and I like this. Right? So I'm looking at the existing rocker. The rocker's this here. So it may not be legible on the camera, but it comes out and in, so it's wider here. So I'm just gonna set this up here, pretty much from jam to jam-ish. And I do have a lot of extra, which is good. We want the drive shaft to have some room to move. So we're gonna have to sneak this over about 1 inch. So I'm just gonna rough this in right here with the ruler, cut that. So again, I'm just gonna basically parallel this angle as close as I can. We know we're gonna have a little cutout for that little mechanical part there. So from there, and I'm just keeping this in line right to there. So I'm just keeping this parallel right here. We know we're gonna have some kind of a notch right there, but just to get started, because we want this to move back also. So this is gonna be the first step. We're gonna try to shimmy it into this corner around here, and then cut that all in to fall in. A little bit like laying a carpet. Bring that cutting disc over. I'll put your eye stuff on. All right, so now we got some parallelity. And we're going to want to bring this inward a number of inches.
They did a really nice job on the inside of the car.
Those guys know what they're doing.
Looks
they're professionals.
looks really, really good.
I'm super thankful for all of their efforts. 3.5 will take us right to that flange. This is kind of beat up too, so probably I'm going to leave this a little bit shy, cut all it out, and I'm going to build a new one fresh. So you can see I'm measuring about 3 3/4. So I'm only going to go 3.5. But we want this to come over a solid inch. So see, that's where our little conundrum lies. We're going to need to come over 1 inch because it's going in and down. So I know, got to do everything backwards to make it forwards. 8 1/8 roughly.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Mixes me up all the time. And we want to take 3.5 off this side. And this is all loose layout. And sometimes with stuff like this, you would use the brake, you would come across on the floor, and you would leave a little flange to turn up to put the panels together, similar to this. See how it flanges down? Mm-hmm. We're going to do it like that. Whatever goes on here will have the flange coming out. So let's cut that, try to bring it in, and check this out. We want to notch it here, correct? Mm-hmm. Incorrect. We want to notch it 3.5 out. And then we want to do 1.25 inches. See where I'm going with this?
Not yet.
Uh-huh. It's very confusing. 1 3/4. So this notch is going to go, the whole sheet's going to go clink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. It could get confusing. Ask me how I know. Doing it wrong a lot of times. See all those little things popping up? Mm-hmm. That is that edge I was describing, so I'm just disconnecting it.
Okay.
All right, let's see what went wrong. Got a little dysfunction right there. I get the shears. Pretty cool for a first try. Let me get in here and open this up just a smidgy.
Did you just say a smidgy?
It's a technical term.
Smidgy.
If you were in the surgical procedure and the doctor said smidgy.
Smidgy. Just a little smidge, but smidgier.
It's a happy little smidge. Smidge that just a little bit too. Now we're getting somewhere. Mm-hmm. Groovy. So now we're gonna have to do that. Let's see. Doesn't that we're just gonna have to do that next. Mm-hmm. You get that? Okay, good. I think I'm gonna do this in baby steps. I'm gonna slice this like that. See where it falls. I'm gonna slice this like that and see where it falls.
The director called for some light.
Lighting crew, job accomplished. I do it all.
Much better.
Thank you. Just wanted to see what value you wanted. Thought it was coming a little hot, a little cool. I got gels, I got lenses, do whatever it takes. Don't expect this to fit the first time. That's what I mentioned, kind of bringing it in slow. Yep, that's a step in the right direction. Cool. This actually worked out darn good. Look at that fit up. Take this, and you may be asking, is that a drive shaft? Or is that a steering shaft you're using? It's a straight edge? Sure is. Straight, isn't it?
Whatever it takes, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it falls right in. Look at that. Nice.
Yay.
Just a little bit. And then here, really tight up against the hoop. Give that a little bit of flux space, but this angle looks perfect. Just take that in to there. Nice round out. And we're there.
Little by little.
Little smidge. See how it worked out.
Remember like on Sesame Street, they had like the word of the day, the letter of the day.
Smidge of the day.
So today it's smidge. Smidgy.
Once upon a time, it was Swift. I don't know where that came out of. But
Dang. Gotta bring it back.
look at that.
You might actually know what you're doing.
Some days. So now, in a perfect world, we'd be able to flip this over there and see if it was going to fit. But I could see a couple things over there I need a screwdriver for. Every car's got a story. So there was some fabrication going on in this, as clean as the vehicle is. So they had screws with flat slot heads. They got these other ones. I'm hoping they're tech screws. I don't know. No, they just got some hex head screws. So they started doing something in here. And I'm glad we had an opportunity to put a stop to it. It's such a beautiful car. Again, all this is getting cut out. I just wanted to take that flange off. Let's flip the floor upside down and see if this side jives. Probably won't, because I know that the transmission tunnel is a little bit to the passenger side. But it should give a good representation of a template. So our main point of concern is the edge of the rocker, where it rises up for that leaf spring perch, and the transmission tunnel. All things that we've clearanced for. Look at that. So that means we'll be able to just trim this out. Oh no, look, it fits. It's just this cable. Holy cow.
It's our lucky
And
day.
Dave did it right. But see, we won't need this here. You won't need this here for that hardware on the other side. So yeah, I'm going to trace this onto that sheet, and that makes our job that much faster for the other side of the floor. And we'll get into making some designs on this
Yay.
to strengthen and for looks. Just going to trace it that way before we put any marks in it. Everything lines up. Yeah, that worked out awesome. So I won't have to do any of that work with the fit up. It's all right here already. All right, so now we have our driver's side ready to rock. Let's plug this back in. Come up with some design. Sweet. All right, so now we have our cross member there. This will be giving us significant strength. We'll be welding to that. So I'm going to take this and put it right on the edge. I'm going to mark this to a front and a rear footboard, or under the seat over here. Cool. Now, we did this crazy corrugated thing that got a lot of heat on the rear trunk floor. This, I think we just need a very simple X. Nothing crazy, because it is pretty strong. And whatever the seats mount to, there'll be a structure put in under this. So this is just the skin. I don't have a bead roller. Sorry, people. Sorry. It's a real simple. You know what? I'm going to just consider this drive shaft tunnel. Just to say, that's probably where this panel will be cut off. Whoops. Give or take. Just going to center this. I'm going to mark both sides. And then say to that, why not? Yeah, that'll look cool. All right, let's do the same back here. Get this coming across. We'll exit image to that. We'll do the same from there to there. All right. Throw this up on the table. Talk some science. So if you remember how much heat all that stuff we did in the trunk with the up and down, up and down, up and down, we're not going to do that here. We're going to do a simple, this X is going to have a raise in it right in the center. And it's easy enough for me to just eyeball that. So it's just going to be an up and 2 downs per X. This is pretty thick sheet, so I think I'm just going to drill a little pilot hole through. If you remember, I dimpled the other one so I could see through the other side. We're not going to do that. Do a quick miniature drill hole, because we're going to have to flip this upside down to get our first set of X's. So all it does is give us a little definite map on the flip side. We still have our tape measurements from the other project. So we're going to go right off of those.
Love it.
Love it. We're in wand extension mode.
So
raise it up. Raise it up.
Hold on, wait. It's not that easy.
I feel shorter than ever. You got to see the gear we're working with nowadays.
Well, now that the mics are wireless, I can fully utilize.
Prepare for full utilization of our potential.
The gimbal, the DJI.
I overshot that considerably. This was easier to bend than I thought. Let's flatten that out. All right. That's a good break. All right, we got one line. Go for line 2. All right, so we could leave it at that. Looks a little bit like the side of a catering truck, though, does it not?
A little bit.
All right, so let's continue and make it look a lot like the side of a catering truck. Now we're coming in. We're gonna add some more fuss to the mess. You see how this is pointing down? All I want to do is point it flat. Just like that. Do the same to this side. Now you get through here, there is a bunch of mess where they overlap, but you'll see. I'm going to hit that with the brake. I'm going to shut the brake on it. Just push it all into cohesion. See, I use this as a kind of a press at times too. Well, this will never go perfectly flat, but it's quite rigid now. Put this in.
Okay, I'm retracting the arm.
Prepare for arm retraction. I just went in with the acetone, took off all those marks that could confuse a poor soul. You can see we have a rigidized floor without as much action as in the prior attempt with the rear.
It did. What were people saying? Oh, you could have just bought corrugated metal. Hey, it's all in the fabrication.
Ruthless. I agree, it was a bit much, but this is going to be covered with carpet as well. I was just getting on with my bad self, my sheet metal brake experience. And hey, that's my car. I could do that if I want. Yeah.
It was more of like a gentle hazing.
It was. Because even I pulled it out of the sheet metal brake. I was like, woo. I'll go get that so we can reference. So let's, in closing of this session, let's review. Too much sheet metal brake, okay? Too much in that general area. A more refined approach.
I love it. Didn't you go back to then like off camera and fix that? And like,
well, I curved it, I flattened it, I bent it. I did everything I could to try to get away from what had happened. Yet it still remains.
That's so
I
funny.
need to put just a little bit more of action on this.
It's kind of like when I get carried away with my like music montages, fast forwarding. And
if that much is good, then twice as much would be better, right? Sometimes, you know. Life is a learning library. Mm-hmm. That being said, we have half a floor for half a Zephyr. Put it in. You don't need to see anything more. What happens here happens on the other side in reverse.
I think it's the other way.
It's always the other way. It's the old flip it and reverse it trick. That's the story of a Zephyr floor. Pretty simple. We'll continue on. See you next time.